Welcome to the Advantage Now partner event. I'm John Bard, Director of Strategy for Cisco Small Business Marketing. It's my pleasure today to introduce our guest speaker, Gene Marks. Gene is the head of Marks Group, a consulting firm that focuses on customer relationship management and accounting software for small and medium businesses. He is also an online columnist for Forbes.com and Businessweek. He has appeared on a number of shows, including MSNBC and Fox Business News, as well as a number of local and national TV shows. He is also an acclaimed author with several bestsellers, including Streetwise, Small Business Book of Lists. It's my pleasure today to introduce Gene. He's going to be talking to us about how small businesses can deal with the current economic situation, how they can grow and become more profitable. Gene, welcome to Cisco.
Thank you, John. You know, over 400 small businesses I've been reading recently in 2009, every single day are predicted to go and file bankruptcy. 400 businesses. And I was recently reading that 1,600 individual people every single day are filing for bankruptcy this year. This is the result of the recession that we're in, and we're now starting to come out with. And it sounds like really big numbers, and they are. They're significantly above where they were a year ago. And you know what they're estimated to be is actually start rising even more. But when you look at it at 400 a day, and I hope I'm doing my math right, but I'm reading that 150,000 to 200,000 small businesses will be filing for bankruptcy this year alone. But before you panic about that, take a step back and think. There are 20 million small businesses in this country. Actually, the Small Business Administration says there's 27 million small businesses. So depends on who you're asking, but let's say give or take 20 million, okay? With 20 million small businesses in this country, 150,000 or 200,000, filing for bankruptcy, it is a lot, but it's not a huge percentage. It's about 1% of the businesses out there. The rest of the companies that are still around are us. They're the survivors. Welcome to the post-recession. You are still here. You have made it through the recession. You have profited, or maybe you've just survived, but you are still here. And there are a lot of other business owners that I talk to, just like us, that have survived the recession, that have watched a lot of their competition kind of fall by the wayside, and they're going to be taking advantage of some things that they've learned over the past couple of years to profit in 2010. So the same stuff that I was reading about all these people going out of business, I'm also reading that over 50% of small business owners plan to hire more people next year in 2010. And the same number of people, more than 50% of small business owners, expect their business to grow next year. So it's not all gloom and doom. It never really is. Things change, economies and markets go up and down, but smart business owners do what they got to do to make money. So in the next 45 minutes or so, we're going to be doing just that. I have learned from many, many smart people ways that they're going to profit over the next year. And I'm going to share those ideas directly with all of you that are watching today. There's 10 things that I've learned from this recession that people have taught me, and 10 things I know a lot of business owners are going to be doing in 2010 to make sure that they're making money, and I'm hoping that you guys are going to be doing the exact same thing. The very, very first thing that small business owners will be doing in 2010 is following the money. Smart guys go after where the cash is. And where's the cash in 2010? It's coming from the government. Whether you support our government or you don't support our government, things have been very, very clear. Over $1 trillion are being put into the system to provide stimulus to certain types of industries. So smart business owners are not changing their businesses. We're in the IT field. I run an IT business just like many of you do. We're not changing and going into the healthcare business. I'm not exactly going to start selling energy or anything like that. But we're making some changes in how we're doing our business. If the money is going to these industries, then that's where I'm going to go too. And that's where a lot of smart business owners are going. So when you look at the energy industry, the education industry, the healthcare industry, the construction industry, these people are getting bailout money. These people are going to need IT services. They are going to need servers. They're going to need routers. They're going to have security issues. That's where the money is going to be. So when you think about your plans for 2010, that's where you should be chasing. And that's where I see a lot of smart business owners doing. So what are they doing to make sure that they follow that? A lot of business owners are getting CRM applications, customer relationship management applications. The story that I always give is that my wife goes to England every year. We go as a family and visit her family. She is from England. And we go about 4 or 5 times a year. She's been doing this for 20 years since we've been married. And never, whenever she checks in the airport, Is she ever recognized? She's not told, like, welcome back, Mrs. Marks, you know, let me give you a free soda, let me upgrade you to a first-class seat. It's as if the first time she's ever been there is when she's checking in. This is going on for 20 years. So that airline that we always fly on, same flight from Philadelphia to London, to me, it doesn't seem like they have a very good CRM system. What a CRM system does is that it helps you stop looking like a dope. If you have a good CRM system in your company, then when you are talking to your customers and your clients, or your prospective customers or your clients, you're logging in those calls. You're keeping track of appointments. You're taking notes. If somebody has a certain baseball team, or their shoe size, or the color of their hair, whatever the case may be, it's just a combined database of information about those customers in the energy, education, healthcare industries, as well as your own customers, and it's all in one place. Get a CRM system so you have all that information together there. So if that customer calls you at any time, whoever picks up the phone doesn't look like a dope. These systems that I've got recommended here, ACT, Goldmine, Zoho, Salesforce.com, Microsoft CRM. Now, finally, a lot of good business owners coming out of this recession have revisited their brand. They're looking at how they're positioning themselves, and they're making some changes. They're not using the same logo that their father put on the business back in the 1960s, you know, with the cursive writing and all. So when they're revisiting their brand, these three sites I really like as well. One client of mine is a roofer who I've spoken about, you know, frequently. Russ runs a roofing company outside of Philadelphia, and he sells services for his partners, other companies not even related to him. So even though they go out to do roofs, he has his crews look at plumbing, electrical work, landscaping work, the windows, the masonry. Even though he doesn't do those services, if his crews find an electrical problem or a plumbing problem, they go to the customer and make a recommendation for one of their referred partners to come in and help them. Customers love that stuff because they're looking out for them. The preferred partners love that stuff because they're getting leads, and they come back and they give him leads as well. So smart business owners I've seen in the past couple of years are really reaching out to partners that have other specialties that may overlap or not, and they're doing their best to sell for them so that those partners can sell for their company as well. Works really well. So if you're not keeping in touch with your customers as frequently as you should be, then you should be. And most customers should be hearing from you once a month, once every other month in some form. Email is a really great way to do it. These three sites that I have up here, Constant Contact, Campaigner, and Django Mail, three great services. By mail is another way to stay in touch. People still open their mail. I mean, we're all still looking for checks and envelopes, even though that never really happens. Printplace.com is a really great site to go to. I have a client that sends out postcards frequently through there, and she loves it. I have another that sends out brochures through there. You can design your own stuff online, upload your images, upload a spreadsheet. They'll send out the mailing for you. It costs about $1 a piece to do. Really, really great way to stay in touch with your customers. Snail mailer I love as well. There you can send individual letters for $1 a piece. So you upload your letterhead or any graphics you want, type out your letter, give a credit card, it will send that letter out by mail. It doesn't do mass mail, but that's okay. When people ask about social networking, they think, where should I get involved? You want to be where your customers are. If you are selling into the manufacturing industry and that is your vertical industry, that's great. You should be involved in the manufacturing industry's social community site. And in fact, the National Association of Manufacturers has got a really great site for that. If you are selling to distributors, if you're selling to law firms, if you're selling to accountants, if that's your vertical, those industries have their own associations and groups where they have their own social community sites with blogs and bulletin boards and those kinds of things. That's where you get involved. You don't have to be on Facebook just because some bullet head on CNN is telling you to be there. Go to the community where your customers are. But the smart business owners I know, they've invested in a community. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of the Baltic Dry Index, because I never heard of the Baltic Dry Index before the recession came along, but all these guys refer to it. And what is that all about? The Baltic Dry Index is an index of freight prices that are going through the Baltic Sea, right? I never even knew there was ships going through the Baltic Sea, but apparently it's a very big shipping lane for Europe and Asia. Well, the index, as freight prices rise, that means there is more competition and demand going on, and therefore the Baltic Dry Index also rises. That index has foretold both the coming and the goings of every recession since the index has been kept over the past 40 years. So if you keep your eye on that index and you watch it more so than the Dow Jones Industrial Average, it's a great way to see if demand is starting to slow down in that vital part of the world. Gives you an opportunity to say, geez, things are slowing, I might need to prepare my business for that. So look, congratulations. You know, that's a picture of Charles Darwin, in case anybody, that's who that is. Okay. He would be proud. We have survived. We have provided, we have proved the theory of evolution. Now we need to prepare for 2010.